You have a list somewhere. Maybe it's on your phone. Maybe it's in your head. Maybe it's just that one thing you told yourself you'd finish today and haven't yet. And right now, even as you're doing something else entirely, some part of your brain is still on that list, still pulling, still unresolved. That feeling has a name, and it's been quietly running your life since the day you were born. In 1927, a young psychology student named Bluma Zeigarnik was sitting in a café in Vienna when she noticed something strange about the waiters. They could remember extraordinarily complex orders, who had what, which table, which modification, without writing anything down. But the moment a table paid their bill and left, the waiters forgot the order almost instantly. The information simply vanished. Zeigarnik went back to her laboratory and spent the next several years figuring out why. What she discovered changed psychology forever. Unfinished tasks, she found, occupy a different kind of mental space than finished ones. Your brain doesn't file them away. It keeps them open, active, running in the background like a program you never closed. She called it the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency to remember interrupted or incomplete tasks far better than completed ones.
Think about it. Every TV show that ends on a cliffhanger, every conversation you walked away from without saying what you meant, every project half finished on your desk, your brain isn't letting those go. It's holding them open, burning resources, pulling your attention back again and again until the loop closes. But here's the thing. Zeigarnik wasn't working alone. Her colleague, Maria Ovsiankina, took the research one step further and found something far more unsettling. It wasn't just that people remembered unfinished tasks better. It was that they felt compelled to return to them, spontaneously, without being asked, without even consciously deciding to. Ovsiankina gave research participants tasks to complete, puzzles, building exercises, simple construction problems, and then interrupted them before they could finish. She then left the room. What happened next was remarkable. Almost every participant, without any instruction, went back to the task on their own. Not because they were told to, not because there was any reward, but because the unfinished state of the task created something in them that demanded resolution. She called it the resumption tendency. Today, we call it the Ovsiankina effect.
And it is running your life right now. Every email you opened and didn't reply to, every apology you meant to make, every book you put down on page 47, every goal you announced and then quietly stopped pursuing. Your brain has every single one of them filed under open, and it will keep filing them under open, keep pulling your attention toward them until you either finish them or consciously, deliberately, formally close them. Weird, right? You think you have agency over your attention. You think you decide what to focus on. But underneath every conscious decision you make, this ancient system is already running, tagging tasks, holding loops open, allocating cognitive resources to unresolved business you didn't even know you were still thinking about. Psychologist Roy Baumeister at Florida State University spent decades studying what he called the architecture of the unfinished. His research, built on Zeigarnik and Ovsiankina's foundations, showed that the burden of open loops isn't just psychological, it's physiological. Carrying too many unfinished tasks literally depletes the cognitive resources your brain uses for focus, decision-making, and self-control. The more open loops you have, the less mental bandwidth you have for everything else. This is why your to-do list exhausts you even when you haven't done anything on it. But here's what changes when you understand this. The Ovsiankina effect isn't a flaw in your brain. It's a feature. Your ancestors didn't have the luxury of leaving things unfinished. A half-built shelter in a rainstorm, a fire that almost caught, a wound that wasn't fully dressed. Incompletion in the ancient world wasn't an inconvenience. It was a death sentence. So your brain evolved a system that would not let unfinished things go, that would keep pulling, keep reminding, keep allocating attention to the open loop until it was closed. That system is still running. In a world of infinite tasks, infinite notifications, infinite half-started projects and unmade decisions and unanswered messages, your ancient completion system is overwhelmed. It was built for a world where you had 5 things to finish. Now it's managing 5,000. And that's kind of beautiful in its own exhausting way.
Researcher David Allen, whose work on productivity and mental organization has influenced millions of people, arrived at a remarkably similar conclusion from a completely different direction. His core insight, that your mind is for having ideas, not holding them, maps almost exactly onto what Ovsiankina discovered in a Vienna laboratory nearly a century earlier. When you externalize an open loop, write it down, put it somewhere your brain trusts, the resumption tendency quiets. Not because the task is done, but because your brain accepts that the loop is being held somewhere safe. The act of writing something down isn't just organizational, it's neurological. It's telling your ancient completion system, I haven't forgotten. I will return. You can let go for now. So what does that mean for you? Every time you feel that vague background anxiety, that sense of something unfinished pulling at you from just outside your awareness, that's the Ovsiankina effect doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is your brain refusing to let unresolved business disappear. It is a survival mechanism so old and so deep that no amount of distraction or avoidance switches it off.
You can't outrun it. You can't ignore it. You can only close the loop. And the strange, liberating truth is this. Your brain doesn't care how you close it. It doesn't require that you finish the task. It just requires resolution. A decision made, a door closed, a note written, a conversation had. The loop doesn't have to end in completion. It just has to end. The thing you've been putting off isn't sitting quietly waiting for you. It's been running in the background this whole time, taking up space, burning energy, pulling at the edge of everything else you try to think about. You have a list somewhere, and now you know it has you too.
Here's the good news. You just closed one loop. You finished something, and your brain noticed. If this video finally gave a name to something you felt your whole life, share it. With someone whose to-do list is running them instead of the other way around. With someone who can't stop thinking about unfinished things and doesn't know why. Like this video if it explains something you've always known but never had words for. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because the next effect goes just as deep. And drop a comment below. Tell me what loop your brain has been holding open longer than it should. What's the one thing you keep coming back to? This channel exists because of people who stay till the end. So thank you. Genuinely. See you in the next one.